So Iran's recently come up with this biotechnology that enables them to do 3D making of bone, which is really interesting. And so I've come up with a unique idea for us to use to help us with people who break a hip or break a knee or break an elbow. As we know, the bones themselves are encapsulated in a fascia itself that allows for the form of the bone itself to maintain its form. And so when a bone crumbles on the edge or the tip, it can break off apart or it can shatter or it can create a crack right through it. A lot of times, what they like to do in the hospital because of insurance purposes is they would like to remove part of your body by doing a surgical excision and then replace it with something that's many times inferior and often leads to complications down the road. What I had thought of, and now that Iran is actually working on something like this, is to take a osteopropylene mixture that has a high density ceramic inside of it, and then underneath image fluorescence you inject that into the encapsulation bone capsule, and you give small injections into the bone capsule itself in order to reset the bone inside the leg in order to create a stronger, more formed head. We could even use this for people that have like osteoporosis or osteogenesis. We could take excess bone and inject it into the bone capsules at the distal ends of the long bones that are deteriorating for people or have been broken, and cause them to either A, re-solidify or to re-strengthen themselves. Bones are very porous, and these porousnesses of the bones can be directly reflected by looking at the bone itself. And in the imaging of the bone, you can identify the tracks within the bone in order to put the chemical infusant into the bone itself. The best thing about this is that the bone itself is relatively non-vascular, so the chemical compound, because it would have to be some type of microceramic compound that has osteoblastomas in it, and it's able to get in there and then graft immediately to the bone structure itself. It would have to go into that sealed area and then maintain and not be liquefied. So, you might need traction for 8 hours is what I'm saying. But if you were to say, take your Aunt Molly falls down, well, instead of having to have her in the hospital where she's going to get a urinary tract infection and she's going to get a surgery which will lead to MRSA, and then she comes out, then they put her in long-term care, then she takes another fall, finally she dies in long-term care because of lack of care inside of the long-term care. Now you're able to take a person, support them, transfer them, bring them to a place, an osteo specialist, a bone doctor, and inject this and then reset the bone on the inside of the body. And Iran's on the cutting edge of that. That's amazing because all in all, it's a much better treatment if it has a less invasive quality. And everyone knows that the majority of hospitals are just a good way to die. God bless God. Way to go, Iran. That's way to take it out of the box.